locate out in the field. So we'd like to have those items accepted along with the maintenance guarantee for those. And then the street improvements, he has 2 driveways. He's installed one, but then the other one, he doesn't want to install it yet because he wants to use that for his construction entrance for when he builds his home. So he's posting that performance guarantee for those improvements. And we'll have those accepted at a later date. And then the final plat, yes, he'd like to have that signed so they can get it recorded. And it's, the approvals are subject to the 3 conditions. There's a balance due on the inspection and testing agreement, some revisions needed on maintenance and performance guarantees, and then the plat had some minor revisions that need to be reviewed.
Mr. Hubbard, you're aware of all this?
Yes.
And I look like you had a plat there for us.
Yes, I got this revised.
Okay. Okay.
Is there a motion for approval?
I move for approval with those conditions met.
Second.
For the discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get to it right after the meeting, assuming it's all good.
I'll try to get it reviewed. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Is that Derek online? Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon. Shiloh's Corner, what are we doing here?
So we are requesting acceptance of the improvements and maintenance guarantees contingent upon some of the conditions that Paul had put forth. So for the approvals, they are requesting acceptance of the, I apologize, I got to pull open this letter. So they're requesting acceptance of the as-built, as well as the dirt work and storm sewers, the erosion control, and the surveying monuments and street signs. As-built plans are dated November 24th of 2025. And then maintenance guarantees for those 3 items. Again, as well as the release of the performance guarantees.
Derek, are you looking at Paul County's January 5 memo?
Yes.
Okay. You notice there are some proposed conditions to that request. Are you okay with all of those?
Yes.
Paul, is that where we're at?
Yeah, just those 2 minor items.
I would move, we approve the request subject to those conditions.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Greg Binter for Honey Creek Farms. Greg,
I'm
hello.
here.
See you.
I'm here. Good seeing you guys. How you doing?
Good. What we
Okay.
do here quickly.
Tonight we are here for Honey Creek Farms, Section 4, acceptance of performance guarantee for the erosion control and also the acceptance and execution of inspection and testing agreements.
All these are all okay. You've got one
Everything's good.
condition and you're good with that.
You have no conditions.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay,
See you guys.
take care.
You too.
David McCann and Gene Rank. Anybody here from Duke? Talk about.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, McCann, how are
Good, how are you?
you? Good. Tell us what we're doing here.
So we are replacing several transmission poles and switches to essentially upgrade the reliability of the grid all throughout right there at Collins Road. We're replacing all new wire and static along Worsville Road, and we are actually going all the way. Eventually, by the end of 26, we will be going all the way to out by Clark Elementary, the substation out there. All of those poles along 700 will be replaced with new upgrade. And our request today, more so towards at Collins Road, as you can see in the pink areas that you have up there on the screen, that is where we are going to set matting in order to get off of the road. As we know, that intersection is very, very busy. And we are asking for some minimal road closures. As we know, during the day, it's probably not feasible, but we are asking to do those at nighttime, starting at 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. on January 20th into the 21st morning.
So you'll be able to get this done, you believe, in just those 2-day period? Right?
So our plan, sorry, I got to go to a different screen. Our plan is to, we'll have 6 semi trucks that will be set up in Mrs. Eleanor Taylor's driveway right there at the farms. The driveway off of Collins Road. They will unload the semi trucks with the matting, and then they will have to cross over the road in order to get to the other side to stage the matting for a later install. So we believe we will have that work will take one night of road closures to install the matting or stage it across the on the east side of Collins Road, and then on March 30th night into March 31st morning, they would come back and they would do essentially the same thing where they would take all of the matting and put them on and load up the trucks and get them out.
Paul, has this been run past you, or?
Well,
It is what it is, it sounds like.
yeah, I mean, I knew that they were wanting, so David, are you wanting to just do lane restrictions, or you think you'll actually be closing the road at some point, or?
So yes, and so that is just for the matting piece of it. We do also have new wire because we are putting two new poles and a switch pole on the east side of Collins Road. So approximately, find my notes here, approximately 223, the week of 223 to 227, we will need 3 10-minute closures to get the phases, that the new wire that's going across the 3 phases and the static across the road up in the air.
Well, and I think you already have this permitted in the engineering division for review, because
That sounds correct.
well, I don't know, coordinate with us just to make sure we know when they're doing what, if they're staying on that same schedule.
The public service and all of this.
Yeah, and letting people know, especially if well, you said it's 3 10-minute closures.
And when I say 10 minutes, I mean that's the absolute max. So the way that would work for this would be, we would have a bucket truck staged on the matting on the west side of Collins Road. It would be caught off, what we call essentially we would have hold of it with a piece of equipment, so it's not going to go anywhere. We call it catching it off. And then we would walk that wire across to the other side to another bucket to where they can catch that off and then raise it up and clip it in to where it won't fall.
So
In all reality, it should take anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. We're asking for 10 because you never know what may come of it.
And I realize it's a very short period of time, but we still need to at least advise public service,
Yeah.
public safety personnel in case they
Yeah,
something should
David.
happen to come out that time.
Yeah, we'll just, on the permit, we're gonna have to put something to make sure that you let us know if these dates are still good as you get
Yep.
to them, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, I think you have something to add.
The question I have is I'm a little confused. On the night of taking off the matting, are you doing you said a road closure, or are you doing that from 8 PM until 6 AM? Is that the hour that you give, and that road would be closed the entire time? I think that.
Yeah, so I did say 8 PM to 6 AM. So how that would work is essentially we can carry 5 mats across the road at a time with one of our with one of the loaders, the piece of equipment. So what our thoughts are is that piece of equipment, we will stop the road for about 1 minute to travel across, set the matting down to stage it, and then drive back over and then allow traffic to proceed. And then we would do that over the course of the entire night. One semi trailer holds about 40 mats. So we will do that 8 times for each semi truck, and we'll have 6 semi trucks. So our calculations, plus and minus a couple of breaks here and there, we can get that done in a 10-hour period.
So David, what you're proposing is sort of an intermittent time that we
Yes.
stop traffic.
Yes, absolutely.
The only thing, I'm not sure what time the afternoon shift gets off at Amazon, FedEx, right in there. That would be probably a little bit of concern of, when everybody, I know when they release, both the north and the south exits are to get out
Yep.
of the place is that might be something where they might need to cease and desist there, why that parking lot because there is a lot of traffic. Because I think there's 2 or 3 facilities get out primarily all within about 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
How do we?
Yeah. We talked about that. Our contractor, Williams Creek, who's setting the matting. We initially thought about 10 PM until 8 AM, but with rush hour traffic in the morning, we chose the 8 PM to make sure we try and get as much work as we possibly can before that rush hour hits, so we're not up against the wall. So we feel like and if, again, you're right, if we see that traffic is backing up, we will cease on that and allow traffic to go through. While we do this, we will have a police officer on site controlling that. I believe we submitted the MOT to the city as well. You guys should have that kind of our plan in that aspect.
Paul, did you receive an MOT?
I know we did get information on the permit. It was included in that packet, David? The MOT?
It was the one that I had sent over Friday. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at that.
We did get some items. I know that, Jerry, but I haven't seen them, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm fine as long as, once they see they got traffic backing up at that midnight area, right through there, as long as they open it up for a
A
while.
lot of trucks coming out of those warehouses.
Yeah. Thank you.
Then sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, David.
I also wanted to mention, so when we take our outage on the transmission lines, we're trying to reduce our exposure to having so much out. So on the date 2/2 and 3/19, we are proposing a lane closure right in front of Clark Pleasant Elementary School, or not elementary school, Clark Pleasant Middle School. There is a pole that it's a foundation pole. We need to open up a set of those jumpers in order to isolate, to shorten the we'll call it our outage per se. That way we can still keep other facilities on down in the Franklin area.
So we're talking about um, January 20th and 21st for the mat placement, correct?
That is for the placement, correct?
And then March 30th and 31st for the removal.
That is correct.
And then on the February 23rd through February 27th, those 5 days. Tell me again what that is, David.
So February 23rd,
Lane closure.
that is the lane closure to pull the wire across the Collins Road.
And then I just heard this February 2 and March 19th. That's
Yes, so
by the
February 2nd and March 19th, we would open what we call open and close jumpers for our outages to reduce the exposure on our line, our system.
So what kind of effort does that entail?
So we would have a lane closure out of the eastbound lanes right outside Clark Middle School, and we would set up one bucket truck on the road, and he would go up and essentially break the circuit, remove those wires that go from one side of the pole to the other, and then they would come down, and then we would get out of the way. We would have to open them and close them on those dates.
I don't have a calendar in front of me. What days of the week are those? Mondays?
February 2nd.
February 2nd, so Monday, February 19th.
Should be a Thursday.
March 19th.
March 19th.
Oh, March 19th is Thursday.
And when we do that, we would typically for our switching, it's going to be outside of the the school, not outside of the school hours, but while school is in session. So we will try not to do that while rush hour traffic. So, in the daytime after probably 9 a.m., in between 9 and probably 1 or 2 is when we would try and target that for the least traffic.
And is that just a lane closure, or would it be a complete?
Yes, sir. That is just a lane closure.
So David, you sit down by the Clark Pleasant Middle School. So there's 2 lanes in each direction. You're saying one lane would be closed, but the other.
Yes, one westbound lane. So I'd call it the right westbound lane, right outside the first entrance closest to the interstate.
That shouldn't be too much of a problem. I wouldn't necessarily.
And you'll coordinate all of that if you haven't already with the MOT information.
Yeah, I guess I have to ask because again, I haven't seen it. Is this February 2nd and March 19th item, is it in the same permit packet? Because this is the first I heard of that.
It should be, and if it's not, we will make sure to get that over to you.
Okay. Yeah, because that was the first I heard about this one. So.
Any unanswered questions we need to ask? Barry, are you okay with all this?
I want to continue to add, we will also have more lane closures. With this project being so large, it is very, very, you can get out, bud. Go. Sorry, I was telling my son something. We also will need lane closures along Worsville Road east of Collins Road in order to set up the matting at each of those poles for when we upgrade the wire. We are not replacing the transmission poles along Worsville Road. All the way up from in between, I'll call it Collins Road and Griffith Road. We're not replacing any of those poles. We are upgrading the wire. So we have to get to each of those poles, and in order to do that, we will need a lane closure to do that.
David, do you have dates on when that will occur?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So essentially we will soon follow 122 to 130. we have, they will be setting the matting for, and I have poll numbers. I don't know if you guys care about that, but essentially it's 122 to 130. We'll setting more matting out there at that time, as well as,
Is that a daily activity or just during that time period you're gonna do it?
so when we set up the trucks, it'll be a one-time deal, and we're trying to narrow those dates down.
And David, here's my concern. We got a lot of dates floating around here. And if you could get those to Mr. Peony and confirm that we have all that in an appropriate MOT or whatever else it takes, so that we can get that to Amanda, our clerk secretary, to confirm that. So when we make a motion, if we make a motion to approve that, we'll know what we're approving. And I hope that we don't come back, well, yeah, we got this date too. I want to make sure we have everything covered. Is that something you can do?
I do have a schedule that I can send over to Paul. And again, this is more fluid than it is anything else. There's so much that goes into it, and I'm sure that you're well aware of that. I know I threw a lot of dates at you, like you had mentioned, but we definitely can't do it all in the same day. There's just too much work. So that's why I can send this schedule over to Paul, and if we needed to meet in person, I live in Greenwood, so I can meet at pretty much any time, and we can kind of go over that and explain what we want to do and where, at what times, if that would work as well.
David, here's what I'm going to suggest. If you would send that to Paul with the details of what you're doing, give that to Paul, and I'm anticipating that maybe we will authorize Paul to make those decisions as to whether that's appropriate, given what we've talked about today. And he can certainly have access to Deputy Mayor and to any of us on the board if there's any questions. That way we don't have to come back 7 times to do this. Is that good?
Understood.
Okay. Paul, is that understood? If we make that kind of a motion, I don't mean to put more work on you, but
No, that's
you've been doing this long enough, you know what we're looking for.
right. So, no, and we may want an in-person meeting, because that may be the best.
But
There's a
let
lot
you
going on here.
figure
Yeah.
that out. Well, I'll
Realize all this.
I'll move in that we grant the request subject to those plans being shared with Mr. Peony and him authorizing going forward in that way, with the understanding that if he has questions, he knows where to get assistance. Is there a second to that long-winded motion?
I'll second that.
Further discussion or questions?
I appreciate your time.
Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks. Good luck. Appreciate you helping get this done.
Thank you.
Next, is there anyone from the audience, either here in the room or online, that wish to address us? If not, we'll move on to Mr. Hodgson with his status of tasks.
I have 2 items. The first is a professional service agreement with City Consultants and Research LLC as administrator to the city for community development block grants. The CDBG grants are federal grants that require grant applications and monitoring and reporting. The fee for this is paid by the federal government also as part of the grants. It is capped at 15% of the money that we receive. Normally, we receive just south of $300,000 a year grants. During COVID, it was triple that, largely from the efforts of this group that stayed on top of what was available to the city. The, we would like this to be retroactive to October 1st.
Questions for Sam on this?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is a request for approval of contract with Flex Financial Services, and this is the finance arm of Stryker Sales for additional funding. This was brought to you at the last meeting. Unfortunately, we had it only set up for one truck, and there are several trucks that need to have this. So we're looking for approval for $330,000, and it's for a lease of 49 months. The contract that Stryker sent has John Myers as the signee, so we would also request that you authorize John Myers to sign on behalf of the city.
Who's John? Former police officer?
No,
No, he's the,
fire department,
Yeah.
an officer of the fire department.
John Myers in the
Get a lot
county.
of them, yeah.
his role chief.
It's division chief of defense.
Back with you. Sorry to be waiting on that. Further questions for Sam?
I move for approval.
Second that. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Paul, on your stuff.
Yes, the first item is Main Street segments 1 and 2, which is that portion of Main between Meridian Street and Oak Street. We're trying to get the right of way in place and hopefully get construction underway this year. However, Duke Energy does need to relocate their facilities, and the city had asked them to relocate from Main Street into the alleys just north and just south of Main Street to try to get the poles off of Main Street. They've agreed to do that. However, by doing that, and I step back, they will be paying for all that portion because they are in our right of way. So that moving them from Main to the alleys is on them. However, by doing that, some of the services are being effective as to how they're going to get it to some homes. And so since we've asked them to move to the alleys, these new connections that they have to make, meters that they have to move to the rear of the homes to be able to get to those new poles in the back, there is a cost associated with that. And so Duke Energy came up with the utility reimbursement agreement, and the amount of that work to establish those new services on those existing homes is it's estimated to be $37,046.25. So engineering is asking for the board to consider and execute and accept this agreement so that we can get them paid to hopefully get them out there to get this relocation work started.
That's about what we charge to close a road, right? College Road,
Yeah.
or we should.
Let's wait till we have a poll or two removed before we play that card.
Questions for Paul on this?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then the last item, it's our 2026-1, the CCMG partial reconstruction project. The city was awarded $1 million on December 1st from NDOT. It's that 50% match. So we're in the process of putting together the bid specifications and getting it out to bid. So we're asking for the board to authorize us to do that for that project.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Further discussion?
I do have a question on that. That involves, is that Colonial?
It's south of Fry Road. It's east of Colonial Way. We're doing Brookview, the remainder of Brookview, because we already did a portion about 2 years ago. We're doing Hillcrest Drive. That's that loop from Colonial Way all the way back around to Colonial Way. Williamsburg Lane from Colonial Way over to Brookview, and then a small piece of Greenbrier between Colonial Way and
Colonial is in really bad shape, so it's
Yeah,
not
that's-
included in this.
not in this part, but yeah, we're working towards trying to get that area done. And we're trying to work from the inside out so that we avoid maybe driving over the newly reconstructed streets as we do that area. So Colonial Way, yes, it has been discussed for sure.
And then a few years back, we did Meadowview, we did a rejuvenation that I think was probably a flop.
Oh, that was
Sure, we
that.
don't do that.
No, we're not doing that.
What was that called? I remember that.
Thin overlay.
Did it on Avert Road.
Yeah, I can't remember. What it was.
Kind of bad
Yeah, it
material.
was, yeah, it was not.
That's why I can't remember that to do.
Okay, let's keep me honest.
Okay.
Further questions? Here now, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Anything else, Paul?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Great. No worries.
So you may recall from our last meeting, we did a preliminary approval on the sanitation and waste management budgets, so that you all would have time to give them a thorough going through. So I'm here in case there are any questions. Otherwise, I'd ask for you to get final approval on those two budgets.
I didn't generate any questions. Anybody else?
It's good.
Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
For the discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
Move for approval of the claims as presented.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next meeting is January 21st. Thank you, Margaret.